Well, hello, this is the Kenwood unit I installed in my CX-7 to replace the Bose system that decided to eat my CDs. It has a CD slot at the top, CD, DVD, whatever slot, disc slot at the top. It's only single, touchscreen, and it does have controls on the buttons on the left. And as you can see, there's a USB port and an audio plug at the back. Both of those are used on iPods. If you only have a USB memory stick, you can put music on that, and it will, or pictures, and you will be able to get into it by just plugging it directly in. Or a simple type sound system, you can plug directly in just the audio port, but you won't get the information or have the controls of it like you do if you use the RSB port on the top in addition. So unlike the original Bose where it was connected all the time via cable in the back and residing in my glove box, this particular system has a rather bulky cable system that you plug into, and so you normally tend to remove it. And so that's kind of a negative in my book, the fact you have this kind of bulky cable system just to run your iPod, and it doesn't have a port in the back that you can leave plugged in neatly somewhere like in your console or in your glove box. Anyway, to turn it on, button at the top. Alright, you can set the colors to anything you want. And I plan on replacing this standby, the background image, with a picture of a CX-7. Now you can replace it with anything you want via that USB port, transfer of a file, or files, and thus you can put a picture of your CX-7, you can put a Mazda logo, you can put a picture of your wife or girlfriend, your kids, your dog, whatever. So I did pay for the extra modules to allow the dash controls to still function, both the comment window and the clock, and also my steering wheel control is fully functional. Pressing and holding the mode button now gets you into a setup window for those guys up there, which is separate from the actual Kenwood unit. You can set the clock. The only thing that seems to work a little bit different than the Bose system is the mute button, which, as you know, with the Bose system, you press it, it stays with the word mute up there and kills all sound out of the unit until you press it again. This system, you press it, you get a momentary mute, and then the system lowers the sound to a very low level, but it's still audible until you press mute again. And then it goes back to normal volume. Now I can play DVDs, can't play Blu-ray. You can put CDs in there with music, it'll play those CDs with various sound files, MP3s, etc. It'll make phone calls, hence the mic, which is why I didn't want to deal with this. It'll play Pandora music through your cell phone, because right now it's connected via Bluetooth, so you can make phone calls, you can receive phone calls, and you can listen to Pandora music. It has a connection for Sirius for satellite radio, but I didn't want that, so I didn't pay for the satellite connection, so it's on here, but it doesn't do anything at this moment. So let's go ahead and press the menu button, which brings up the main menu. Now the three main things you use the most you can set in these large icons, and you can change them or rearrange them at will, ad nauseum, through the setup. It is a big sound system, so it's like surround sound. You get to pick where you want the sound to be centered graphically by touching the screen and picking what part of your car you want to be in the center, or you can just tell it to center it. So let's press the tuner. And this is the tuner. You can change the way it displays. The preset buttons that are shown on the right here with the little information on the left. Or you can change it to the alternate display where the buttons are just buttons and there's more information displayed. And the type of information displayed is depending on that the button that shows PTY right now. You can change that, and depending on where you're at, what this channel is, what information they're broadcasting will depend on what you actually see in the text window. That's pretty much it. Interesting, now it actually says volume up here when you bump the volume. Also here. Much louder at 13 than it was with the Bose system. Much louder. But that's pretty much it. You have 3 FMs. You can seek, you can manually change channels, and 1 FM group that you can tune. So, now we'll switch it to the iPod. And once it does it, similar to the Bose system, it takes over and says Kenwood in your iPod instead of Mazda. Now it does have, unlike the funky system on the Bose system, this actually has an interface that shows album information, track, and you can change the way you look at stuff, the way you do stuff. You can set it to manual mode or back to remote mode. And you can have it be random, start over, continue. Pretty much everything, and much easier to find something than the Bose system. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now we'll switch to the disc, and I will take the plug out there. Sorry, I'm making sure this is not a Blu-ray. DVD, yep, this is the one I want. And you just plug it in. You can fast forward using the steering wheel. Kind of learn as I go along here.
I am Police Officer Brian Taylor. This is my partner, Officer Rob.
Romantic love will be the last illusion of the old order.
From Tony Award-winning creators of...
And of course it has a million trailers.
Still unclear what it was.
Of course you can't get by that one. Interesting. But you can see the picture there. It's a real good picture. There's the iPod again. Just disconnected now. It's Pandora if you have Pandora on your phone. I don't have it on my phone yet. I guess I'm going to have to add it. There's a USB port. So if you just plug in a USB memory card, music, Cirrus, Bluetooth, it will play and list what's on your phone in Bluetooth. And so you can play your music straight off your phone if you don't want to deal with the cables to your iPhone, iPod. And these are your video for our backup camera and or connecting to another DVD device. And your standby memory. That's pretty much the basics. So far I really like it, and as long as it keeps running and functioning, we'll keep you posted. That's all I got. Later.